Welcome to the 2024 Chevy Trax. Spoiler alert, this SUV won't just turn heads, it'll have your wallet thanking you too. So don't blink, don't scroll. This is the video you've been waiting for, and the Trax experience starts now. If you're new to the channel, you know how we do. Today I'll hit the exterior, interior, performance specs, and then we'll do a price reveal while I take it for a spin. As far as exterior features go, this SUV has LED DRLs, LED headlamps. The RS trim includes a black grille insert, red RS badge, and black front and rear bow tie emblems. It's also equipped with 18-inch black painted machined aluminum wheels. This also comes standard with Chevy Safety Assist, which includes features like automatic emergency braking, forward collision alert, front pedestrian braking, following distance indicator, lane keep assist, and lane departure warning. And one other thing that I will say that this comes with that I really enjoy is the IntelliBeam auto high beams that activate at speeds above 25 miles per hour, which can automatically turn the vehicle's high beams on and off in accordance with surrounding traffic conditions. You also have heated outside mirrors, a rear spoiler. You do have a manual lift gate, manual lift gate. Boo! Tomato, tomato, tomato. Inside you have decent cargo space, and the seats fold down in the event you want more space. Performance-wise, fuel economy is 28 city, 32 highway. You do get 30 combined MPG. The engine is a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder engine, and then you have 137 horsepower. All right, so on the interior of this Trax, you do have some red stitching that's going to be around the steering wheel. You do have some red accents that are going to be visible around the center console, as well as the dash and a few other areas. Now, let's get into it. So the interior features, let's talk about the diagonal driver information display. It's a 3.5-inch driver information display. It's a hybrid of digital and analog. It shows things like speed, range, fuel economy, tire pressure, various warning icons, you know, just the normal stuff. And then you have a 4-speaker audio system, which is trash, by the way. However, if you have the 2RS or Activ, you will get a 6-speaker audio system. As far as infotainment goes, you do have an 8-inch diagonal HD color touchscreen. You get that in an 11-inch if you have the 2RS or the Activ models. However, both allow you to stream audio from 2 devices. Not sure how practical that is because I've seen those Trax owners forums, and let me tell you, people have been lighting Chevy up for repeated connectivity issues on brand new vehicles. So Chevy, y'all got to get that in order. Now, moving right along, this does have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto capability for any compatible phones. From a charging standpoint, you have a 12-volt power outlet along with 2 USB ports, both USB-A and USB Type-C, and they're going to be located down here below the climate control settings. Next up, one feature that's really cool is the vehicle has active noise cancellation, and Chevy claims that this technology blocks and absorbs sound as well as dampens and eliminates vibrations, which will help to leave outside noise where it belongs. This is achieved through in-cabin microphones that distinguish unwanted noise and cancels it to help create a quiet interior cabin. We'll test that out later when we're actually doing the driving portion of this and see how quiet it really is. There's also a feature called rear seat reminder. This is designed to help remind the driver to check the back seats before leaving the vehicle. So if you got the kids back there, you got anything, you know, just double check it. It also activates when the doors are open or closed for up to 10 minutes before or anytime while the vehicle is on. So I think that's a pretty interesting feature. Let's see how practical it is. One thing it does have is teen driver, so you can actually dedicate a key fob to help encourage better driving habits for teens by providing an in-vehicle report card. It activates certain safety features. If equipped for a teen driver, what's going to happen is it's going to mute the radio until the front occupants have fastened their seatbelts. It's going to include a buckle to drive feature, which requires the driver to buckle their seatbelt before shifting out of park. Now, I guarantee you my parents wish that they had these types of features in the vehicle when I was a teenager, just to make sure it's promoting that safety. So I think that this is a very thoughtful vehicle for those of you that are going to be having teenagers driving the car. Maybe this is going to be a kid's first car or whatever it is. But I think that this vehicle is pretty solid and simplistic when it comes to the offerings. Now let's go ahead and hop in the back seat. All right, so here in the back seats, I will say this, the seats are pretty cool. They're cloth seats, nothing special, nothing to write home about. You do have a little bit of storage space back here, right in this behind the center console. You do have center console storage space up front. You have those two cup holders up there as well, and then you have these side pocket storage areas as well back here. But yeah, like I said, there's not really a ton to touch on. So I'm going to wrap it up. But before I do that, I will say that this is very cheap feeling. But again, this car has a much lower price point, which I'll tell you about in the next segment. Let's take it for a spin. Okay, so before we drive this Chevy Trax, bro, what is this? When I got in this car, I was like fondling around, feeling for like a button for push start, but here we go. Old school Chevy. Crazy. All right, so let's do it. Old school. We're going old school for 2024. That's wild. Chevy, get it together. All right, so first impressions driving the Chevy Trax, the Trax experience, as I promised you earlier in the video. So it handles corners pretty decently. It has very slow, less than stellar acceleration, as I mentioned before, but it's functional. So I think that someone that is going to be buying this is going to be more of a eco-conscious, well, not really eco-conscious, budget-conscious consumer. And they're going to find value in the fact that this does not come at a hefty price. And its offerings are pretty basic. So don't have really huge expectations in terms of performance and what this offers. It's going to be your run-of-the-mill Chevy. Also, it's raining outside, so we'll be able to see how this does in some of the wet conditions with cornering. So I'm at a red light right now, but I'm about to make this turn. All right, this is a front. Ooh, okay, all right. Is the traction control on? The traction control is on, and I just did a little bit of slipping as I rounded that corner. So just be careful with this. Again, this is a front-wheel drive vehicle, but it's not very performative from what I've seen just now with a little bit of wet weather. So this is something that you're gonna have to just be a little careful with while you're driving, because it doesn't have all-wheel drive like most vehicles that I've driven before. All right, second corner. Stopping is good. The ride quality is good. Going back to what I mentioned earlier in the video, handled that bump pretty good. The quiet cabin. So Chevy mentioned that they have this noise cancellation feature that's supposed to dampen the outside noise and dispel any road noise or anything like that. And I think that with the rain beating on the windshield and cars passing by, and normally you can kind of hear the tires sloshing in the rain, I don't hear any of that. This is pretty quiet. I'm also shooting this right now on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. DJI is not sponsoring this video, but I'm using the audio straight out of the device or straight out of the camera, and it's quiet in here. It sounds pretty good. Curious to know what this is going to sound like on the back end once this video is actually finished. But so far so good, honestly. And then from a price point standpoint, this is going to run you a little bit over $21,000. So it's not super expensive either, but I will caution you and say that given everything that I've showed you previously in the early points of the video, you do get what you pay for. So just really remember that. Like, look at the seats, look at just some of the quality, look at some of the features that this offers, and it's not very different between the different modules. So you have the LT, you have the 1RS, the 2RS, the Active. So those are going to be some of the trim packages. The price isn't going to differ too much, the specs aren't going to differ too much, but again, this is going to be something that's there for the budget conscious consumer. I think that's about it. I enjoyed my time with the Trax today. Would I buy one personally? Probably not. I feel like Chevy and GM kind of come out with these vehicles every now and again, and they kind of, you know, make a lot of hype about these, but they don't really perform as well, and then they end up sunsetting those in the future. So I'm guessing that this may end up being another one of those vehicles, but let's see how it performs. Let's see how consumers end up enjoying this. But for me, the quality is a little bit cheap, and I don't think that this would be the right car for me. No offense to anybody that owns one of these vehicles. I hope you enjoy it, but check out some of my other videos as well. I have a ton of videos on SUVs, EVs, luxury vehicles. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and mash that subscribe button, mash that like button, go ahead and share a video, and I'll catch you next time.